interest. What is that? When you love what you do, and you do what you love, doing it becomes easy. But you've got to love it first. You've got to connect with it first. The whole idea of people being happy and being peaceful with themselves and peaceful with other people is because they are interested in themselves and they're interested in the well-being of the other people. You cannot have peace if you're a selfish and an egocentric person. Because the characteristics of a selfish individual and an arrogant individual are deadly when it comes to the definition of what peace means. Are you getting my point? You also become faithful if you are worried about time. Faith is about time. Whatever is born as a baby grows to become old. So don't be so much excited that you're 30 now. You're not going to be 30 forever. If you want to know how you look when you're 60, look at your grandfather. That's where you're heading to. Are you getting my point? Or look at your grandmother, how ugly she is. That's where you're going, no matter how beautiful you are at the moment. So very important to understand, it's about time. I'm worried about time. Everything revolves around time. And how am I utilizing this time so that when that time is no longer there, I will be able to take care of what will come as a result of the end of time. But if you're not time conscious, faith comes when it is connected with events, when it is connected with outcome. Faith comes when you are willing to do the hard work. It's not about just wishing. It's about doing. It's not about sitting down. And that is why one of the Khalifa of Islam, Omar, used to chase people out of the mosque, telling them you cannot sit here and raise your hands up and expect God to reveal salwa and manna that happened during the time of Moses. It cannot happen today. Get out, go and work. It is only in the dictionary where the word success comes before the word work. But otherwise, in the normal circumstances, it is work, then success. What is hard today makes you stronger tomorrow. So faith is that ability to endure the pain of what you want to do today to see the result you want to see tomorrow. It is the ability to endure the pain that comes with the process of doing what you have to do in order to see tomorrow what you want to see. And with peace, you have to crack the ego. Okay? And imagine that everybody else is equal. Equality, justice. And this is the ingredient of having a peaceful life and peaceful coexistence. Yes, my friend, next one.
Okay, I have a very good quote here from a very controversial person, Albert Einstein.
Yes, Einstein.
The message is, peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. That means without dialogue, you cannot achieve peace. So people must come together, discuss their problems, and then come to a consensus and understand one another.
There has to be an explanation from somewhere. There has to be a description from somewhere. There has to be a connection in the whole process. There must be engagement. There must be dialogue. Dialogue. And that's why even in the Quran they say, يَا أَهْلُ الْكِتَابُ تَعَالُوا مِنْ كَلِمَةِ السَّوَاءِ بَيْنَنَا وَبَيْنَكُمْ. Let's begin where there is commonality. There are things that are common between and among all of us. Let's begin there. Let's not focus on our differences. And that's why they say sometimes you become peaceful when you focus on what you have more than focusing on what you don't have. That means looking at what is beautiful with other people, what is beautiful on other people, instead of you looking at the faults, the human error in the lives of other people. When you focus on what is ugly, your life becomes ugly too. But when you focus on what is beautiful, your life also becomes beautiful. So when you look at everybody with that eye of peace, then peace surrounds the whole atmosphere and we all become peaceful. Very, very crucial. Yes? Another tip.
Maybe what attracted me most is this poster here.
Uh-huh.
That those who are at war with others are not peace with themselves. This particularly goes to us teachers, of which some circumstance force us to do so. But once you can, a pupil or a student, it won't come out of peace. It should come out of anger.
Yes.
There are some reasons which made you, of which you'll boil blood. There's something, sort of frustrations, maybe to going to destroy the whole mood of your day. Just because maybe of one or two particular kids that are involved in such a case. So teachers, we have to, regulate ourselves into a peace manners of solving problems. So at least for the rest to serve the best in the day. Thank you.
Say this after me, please. I have now realized for me to do my best, I have to stand straight. Then you stand straight. I have now realized. For me to get what I want, I must stand straight. As I have to do all what it takes to do my best. And after doing my best, then I will sit down and rest. But I won't rest for too long. Because if you take too long without attending to your garden, the weeds will take over. The crop will take over my crop. Therefore, I have to stand again. And as I stand again, now I will do whatever it takes until I get the best out of myself. After getting the best out of myself, now I will sit down and rest. Good. Can we move to the next group?
No, my group is, if you want peace, stop fighting.
Stop
Fighting.
fighting. Okay?
I think it's more physical. If you want to avoid, if you want peace, you should not engage in physical fights or battles.
Okay.
And then, if you want peace of mind,
Yeah.
stop fighting with your thoughts. So for you to be peaceful, you don't have conflicting thoughts. If one part of you thinks this way, another part thinks the other way, you will be peaceful. And your peace of mind should also be shared with other people. Because there is no way that you'll be peaceful and then they come and provoke you. Wow.
Okay.
So my peace of mind also means the peace of the minds of others.
Keep guard your mind so that you don't allow negative thoughts to flow through the patterns of your thinking. If you safeguard what goes into your mind, then you will always have that serenity of the mind. Okay? The solitude of the mind. Because everything becomes what you put into your mind. And that's why they say you are who you are, because that is what you think you are. You become who you become because of what you think most of the time. So be careful of what you think, because that's where you either become peaceful or you become coercive. Okay? Good. Can you add it?
There's another quote that you are looking at, that reads, "A heart at peace gives life to the body." When you are thinking about this, it came out that if you are at peace with yourself, then even your health system is going to be okay.
It's going to be okay. Yeah.
If you have other issues in your health,
And that is why, for those who are Muslim, the Prophet said there is an organ in the human body. If that organ is pure, then the whole body becomes pure. And if that organ is polluted, then the whole body is polluted. So be careful of what you fall in love with. Because that is where every problem comes in terms of peace and peaceful coexistence. If what you fall in love with is money, definitely, as somebody else said, you will be crazy with money. If what you fall in love is women, you will definitely put your pants down for everybody to. Do you know what I mean? Yes. Okay. So if you are in love with power, then you will stop at nothing in order to become powerful. But if you are in love with peace, then you will also do whatever it takes to live in a peaceful environment. So you have to take care of your feelings. We become what we feel inside our hearts. It's about connecting the emotions. The emotions, very crucial. It's called emotional capital. The EQ, which is very important. We are not just made up of the IQ, the brain, the knowledge for the mind, the EQ, the love for the heart, and the PQ, the good food for the body. So as you are selecting what to eat, and you're selecting of what to think, you must also select how you feel towards other people, because that drives the engine of humanity is the heart. Makes you, it directs you where you should. Where your heart is, that is where you belong. So don't give it to anyone else. Keep it at your own custody. Otherwise, that's why some of us sometimes we say, my heart is broken. Who broke it? Who broke it? How many of us have experienced heartbreaks? How many of us? All of us? Is that all of us? Yes. Wanasema hivi wale washairi kule Tanzania, mahaba yako hazina, nipe mimi niyaweke. Mapenzi yangu zuluna nitakupa uyashike. Katu siyagawi tena kwako ndio mwisho wako. So, you know, the most precious thing, you need to know which hands are you giving that thing, so that somebody else will never kind of, you know, let it down and then it breaks. So the heart, very important. Yes? The next group quickly so that we finish.
Okay, the one I'm holding here is peace. It's a journey of 1,000 miles, and it must be taken one step at a time.
One step at a time.
So literally, like peace clubs, primary, secondary, and we're moving on to university. And then another thing is that it should start, the first step here, it should start with you, the person who is close to you, to the community, the society, the country. And then the other one,
it should have a spiral effect.
yeah.
Because you cannot be there every day. Okay, so you must leave the mark. And that mark, success leaves trails. And therefore everybody else who follows those trails will ultimately become as successful as you are. So with those students who are in the Peace Club, they all look at you as a leader. Na kule kwetu Biblia wanasema hivi, kama jeshi la simba na kiongozi yonda, jeshi lote la mayonda. Lakini kama jeshi la mayonda na kiongozi simba, basi jeshi lote ni la simba. Pono alivyoa kitu anatepeo dhima. Samaki akioza kwanza kuoza kitu. Kwa hivyo walimu wakioza, would you expect the students will also be more than wanaoza tu. Haya.
So the next product we were talking about is don't let people pull you into a storm. Pull them into a peace. So we were like looking at it in the sense that when you have other people, then you may have different views. So if you are peaceful, then they will infiltrate you. Now, on the other side, where not peaceful. Try to convince them so that they will be peace.
Don't allow the description of other people on you become your reality. Never ever allow the description of other people on you become your reality. It's not what other people say you are, that is you are. That is who you are. It is who you say you are, and that is exactly who you are. So if you look at yourself as an individual who is successful, as an individual who is peaceful, as an individual who is development conscious, ultimately you become exactly that. It's not what others people say. Don't allow yourself to be bought at a wholesale price. You must always learn to have some integrity and kind of develop the values of life that other people will learn to respect you for who you are, not who they want you to to be. That is very, very important. Did you have anything to say, madam?
Our mind is full of anger, tears, and other negative feelings. Yet we do not realize that these are the category of inner peace.
Very good. Very important thing to say is that peace. Can you write down the word peace? Peace. P-E-A-C-E. P. Sorry? I didn't finish the faith.
You finish.
I finished the faith.
H is hard.
Hard work. Yes. He does not see that. Aspire.
Focus. A,
Aspire.
I, interest. T, time. H, hard work.
The hard way, the only way. Okay. So now, the way peace is defined tells you exactly what you're supposed to do. And yes, somebody else is hand up. P in the word peace. Peace has to do with our perceptions, the way we look at things. They say if you stop looking at things the way you look at them, the things you look at also change. Are you a pessimist or are you an optimist? Are you an individual who is positive every time, or are you an individual who is negative? Do you see good in people every time, or do you see evil in people every time? Your perception. Peace is about perception. How do you look at things? How do you perceive things? Even when people are trying to be negative with you, do you also, dance to their orchestra, or do you say, with me, I think they don't understand what they are doing? Are you getting my point? Forgive them, Father. They don't know what they are doing. And these are people who are putting you on the cross, and you're asking your Father to forgive them. Yes, because they don't know what they are doing. And when Muhammad went to Taif, and people were stoning him, saying, Ya Allah, don't punish them. They don't know what they're doing. Maybe their children will become good. Don't worry about them. Okay, don't bring calamity onto them. These people, they're stoning me today, but their children will love me tomorrow. So are you an individual who sees beauty in life, or are you an individual who sees disappointment in life? Do you see your students are people who are in the process of becoming good, or do you conclude that they are bad? Do you see them as people who are struggling to understand what you're teaching them, or do you look at them as if they are fools? There is nothing they can understand, and therefore there is no need to teach them at all, because there is no way they are going to understand what. So perception. Peace comes with perception. Even with a personal level, who do you see when you stand in front of a mirror? A gentleman or a crook? Who do you see in front of a mirror? A beautiful lady or a disappointment? Who do you see? One day in a company, there was an obituary on the notice board. Somebody had died, and there will be a funeral service tomorrow in the hall of the company. And everybody was wondering, it's like everybody's here. Who has died in this company? But the obituary, and the boss was saying, you'll see the person tomorrow. But one of us has died here. And then the coffin was in the middle of the hall with a mirror on top of it. And everyone who was passing was seeing himself. Everybody who was passing was seeing himself. That's why some of us will die at the age of 17 and will be buried at the age of 70. Because if you are 20 and you're still there from the time you are 15, and nothing is taking place in terms of your personal growth, then you're already dead. Though you're still breathing. You're already dead. Because the whole essence of living is growing and gaining. If there's no growth taking place in your life, no gains is happening in your life, you're already dead. So the perception. Who do you think you are? What comes to your mind when you talk about yourself? What comes to your mind? What about if you're walking in your village? What kind of person do people see? Now those are perceptions. They either make us or they break us. Peace also, E, is about engagement. The ability to feel comfortable, to engage with other people. The ability to feel encouraged, to confront other people. My dear colleagues, sometimes we lose peace because we suffer from the social metastasizing cancer Social metastasizing cancer is a social cancer that is made up of 5 C's. 5 C's. Any individual who suffers from these 5 C's, that individual is really out to finish himself. The first C, the C of complaining and complaining to the wrong person. You have a problem with your wife at home, you're going to complain to the head teacher in school. You have a problem with a teacher in school, you go complain to your wife at home. Everybody knows how bad your wife is except herself. She doesn't. Everybody knows how bad your husband is except the husband himself. So you're complaining, and then you're complaining to the wrong person. How do you expect the person to change if you don't want to confront them and tell them, my friend, I don't like what you're doing. I have no problem with you, but what you're doing is what I don't like. Can you change, please? You make me angry when you behave like this. I don't like the way you look at me. You know, you don't tell the other person, I don't like so-and-so the way you look at me. You tell the person. So that is the first C, the C of complaining, and complaining to the wrong person takes away your peace completely. One day we went for a party in the US Embassy, ambassador's residence, and we were there, and we were, you know, it's a big man's place. Everything was there, every drink was there, every food was there, and we were enjoying ourselves, but I discovered my friend is not eating anything, and he's not drinking anything. Now I turned and asked him, my friend, what's the problem? I mean, there is enough varieties here, even if you are diabetic, you can take something else. He said, no. Mwanamke anaingia hapa simpendi ile bado. Ndio maana wewe skula, bwana tukia nyongo ipate. Epitaki yote, kabut, finish. Yeah, who's that person? And then he shows me that person was busy eating and enjoying. I say, you have a problem, really? You have a problem. Look at you and look at that person. He doesn't know that you hate him. Go tell him. He doesn't know. And he's enjoying himself and you are suffering. Oh my God, I don't like that school. There's one teacher there who makes me sick. Have you told him that he makes you sick? Yeah. There's one, that head teacher, that one. And that's why they say most teachers die of heart attack on Monday morning. Why? When they think they are going to that school, where the head teacher is like, oh, ground. And the other teachers in the staff room, you don't like them. Now you have to spend the day with them, and there are some kids there. Oh, my friend, this is called metastasizing cancer. The second C of metastasizing cancer is compromising. Compromising. Living other people's lives instead of living your own life. You worry about other people instead of worrying about your own self. You spend more time talking about other people instead of talking about your own life. You're worried about what is happening outside your life instead of concentrating with your own life. You're compromising your own self for the self, and you'll have no peace after all. The third C is the C of contradiction, refusing to walk your talk. You say one thing, and you do a complete different thing. In another language, you're preaching water, and you're drinking wine. You're contradicting. You're not walking your talk. You're not walking your talk. It's a contradiction of your own. You are living a dual personality. Inside you're different, and outside you're completely different. At home you're different, outside you are different. In school you're different, outside the school you are different. Therefore you're always living with worry. I hope people will not discover. I hope people will not discover. And there's no way you're going to have peace. Because you are living a dual personality. You are two people in one. You also suffer from metastasizing cancer when you compare yourself with other people. And that is why some of us, we are ever on a zero figure in terms of our payslip. Why? Because when the neighbor takes a sofa set, you also take a loan and buy a new sofa set. Even if you don't need it. When a neighbor moves to a bigger house, you also move to a bigger house. Even if you're just you and yourself. Why? Because you're always comparing your life with other people's life. So and so did a huge wedding for the son, I must also do a bigger one than that one. Because I don't have money, now I go to Sacco and I take the loan. And for 5 years you are receiving 0 salary. Just because of a simple, idiot, stupid birthday party. You know what I mean? Yes, just because of that. So compare is an insult. When you compare yourself with other people, you live your life. You don't live the life of, how do you expect to have peace then? How? You will never have peace because there is no way you can be like everybody else. You are different. You're special. No one is like you in this world. You cannot force yourself to be other people. You don't know. Maybe the other person has another source of income. Maybe the other person has a rich uncle. Maybe the other person has an inheritance somewhere. Though you are teaching in the same school, that person is not you. That person is different. He had a better start than you. Now you are struggling to be at the same level with that person, and then you pay the price of sleepless night. One day, there was a woman who had a son working as an accountant in a big company. Thank you. And this son one day came to tell the mother, Mom, somebody has taught me how to take money from my company without the company noticing. Somebody has taught me how to balance the accounts, and even if the auditors will come, they will never know I've taken any money from the company. Then the mother said, I am just an illiterate woman. I don't know anything to do with accounts, so I can't advise you. But I will hate to see a night when my son is sleeping on a very big bed but cannot get the sleep. That one will really disturb me. I know nothing about auditing, I know nothing about accounts. But as a mother, I will terribly be disturbed if I see my son sleeping on 6x6 bed with Vitafoam mattress and still he cannot get that sleep. Why no sleep? Because no peace of mind. You are worried people might discover that you have stolen. So comparing. I said the first C is what? Complain. The second C? Compromise. The third C? Contradiction. The fourth C? Comparison. And the fifth C is contention. Contending. Not being satisfied with who you are, what you are. You want to become a different person like Michael Jackson. And at the end of the day, you create more problems to yourself. You have to appreciate who you are and live as who you are and continue, enjoying who you are without feeling like, something, people can take everything away from you, but they can never take your integrity, right? No one can make you feel inferior unless you allow them to do so. So you have to be satisfied with who you are. Some people are just angry simply because they think they have the type of hair which is not good and they wish God could have made something different. Someone else has no peace in their life just because they hate their complexion. There is nothing they can do. I always tell people, I don't realize I'm short until I stand next to a tall person. But when I'm alone, I imagine I'm the tallest person in this world. Are you getting more? Unless I stand next to, then I realize, so I'm this. Are you getting my point? So sometimes one time a ship was sailing in the deep seas, and therefore it saw some light ahead of it. And the captain of the ship said, can you tell the other ship to move? So one of the sailors announces with a microphone, you are on our way, kindly move at once. The response comes back, we are not going to move at once. You are on our way, so move at once. And the captain says, who are these arrogant people? They know who we are. We are a military ship. We can destroy them if we want. Tell them who we are. The signal goes out. This is a military ship. If you don't move at once, we are going to destroy you. The signal comes back. This is a lighthouse. It cannot move. It's you to move. There are certain things in life you cannot do anything to change them. They are laws of nature. So growing old is a law of nature. You can't stop it. One day you will definitely lose all the glamour of the youth. So you have to get prepared of it. You don't have to get angry because you are now 50. You can't change that. You cannot get angry. I understand women remain 39 for 10 years before they accept they are 40. And men will stop at 49. They don't want to say they are 50 until the faces refuse to say now, do you know? You know what I mean? There are certain things in life which, robs us away the most precious thing they call peace, and there are things we have no control over. So when it comes to those things, you have to be satisfied, and you have to accept them and live a very peaceful life. I'm going to stop here for now, since we are going for lunch, and when we come back, we will look at the top. So I said peace, bibiaka biaka. So sometimes this issue of peace and violent extremism, sometimes we imagine it is affecting other people very far from us. It's not affecting us. Because at the moment you think in your house there is peace, so there's no problem. In your family there is peace, no problem. There's no need to discuss peace because I have a lot of peace with my son. There's no need to discuss peace because I have a peace with my wife and my children. But sometimes when you see something happening in your neighborhood, you should also get prepared yourself. So as I said earlier, peace means change of perception. Peace means engagement. Peace means association. Peace means creativity. And peace means encouragement. You must always be a person who has a lot of positivity. My dear colleagues, life demands for peace, for it to be a happy life. Without peace, happiness becomes a thing of the past. The first P is the P of always being positive about things. Whatever happens to you, whatever you do, remain positive about it. The second P is you must always be patient, because you don't know when things are going to start working for you. So don't rush. Be patient. It's a virtue, it's a value, it's beautiful. And the third P is a P of persistence. Continue doing it. Don't get tired. Don't quit because you're tired. Quit because you have achieved what you want to achieve. And the last P is the P of persevering. It's not going to be easy, but it is going to be worthy struggling for it, worthy having it. It might give you the type of life you always wanted for yourself. So, all people desire to live in a world of peace and harmony, including you as a teacher. Believe me, when you don't have peace, even teaching becomes difficult. Have you heard the story of the Imam who was so good in delivering sermons? The Imam who was very eloquent, the Imam who had a very sweet voice, the Imam who was very factual, and one day the wife got scared because of the husband being so good in delivering lecture. So the wife was looking for a way of making other women not admire the husband, because she had started feeling insecure. So when one day the Imam was delivering the speech, the wife told the other women, this husband of mine is not the one who writes these speeches, it's me who writes for him. Otherwise, if I don't write for him, he will not be able to deliver any good speech. And the women, as usual, just said, no, this man is a learned man, he knows what he's talking about, he is blessed, he's gifted. And then the wife challenged them, told them, next Friday, you will see, I will refuse to write the sermon for him. You will see what will happen. Now when she went back home, she waited for the husband, and when he entered, he said, you know what, my husband, I'm tired with you. I want my divorce. Now imagine somebody you love so much like chocolate, telling you, khalas, dena, khalas. How many of you have had that experience? Someone you love so much, really love. Yeah, I love so much. And then all of a sudden, you get a text message, he or she's telling you, it's over between me and you. How many of us have had that experience? It's really like the world has come to a stop. You get my point? Now this Imam is like, oh my God, no, this cannot be happening to me. And the wife said, no, it's happening, and I want it right away, now. And that husband said, at least give me 1 day. He said, no, now, go in, go out, now, go in, go out. Monday, Tuesday, Paka Friday, they figure 10 o'clock. The man has never had time to take a pen and a paper, and the other one is calling, and the guy has to go to the mosque before writing down anything. And when he climbs the pulpit, now this guy has nothing to say. And the wife was on the other side, and she was telling him, did I tell you, this guy is a fool? He doesn't know anything. This guy doesn't know anything. It's always me. So you have to safeguard, isn't it? Your interest. You've never had this one, you know. A man told the wife, I'm going to marry a second wife. And the wife said, oh my God, this cannot be happening. Said, I'm going to marry second wife. And this man was on the Facebook. He had a Facebook page, and the wife could see how he's communicating to the other one. Now this woman decided to open a Facebook and gave herself a name of Al-Shabaab. Okay? And then all of a sudden, a message comes from this Facebook of Al-Shabaab to the husband, telling him, I have discovered you are tuning my girlfriend. I want to warn you, stop it. Otherwise I will come for you. I don't know who you are. You are so-and-so, you're married to so-and-so, you have this. And this guy decided to shut down all the WhatsApp, the Facebook. Are you getting my point? Are you with me now? Yes. So, all people desire to live in a world of peace. Without peace, nothing works. Okay? Very, very important. Yeah. Sorry. This is a scholar from the Buddhist community. He says, we are what we think, all that we arise with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make the world or we break the world. And this is what I was saying in the morning. You are who you are because that is how you think you are. Believe me, you think you are a fool, you become a fool. You think you are very intelligent, you become intelligent. You think you are rich, you become rich. You think you are poor, you become poor. With our thoughts, we make ourselves, and with our thoughts, we break ourselves. With our thoughts, we develop peace. With our thoughts, we cause wars to take place. So very, very important. And that's why I said in the morning, you have to be careful of what you think, because what you think affects the way you feel. You have to be careful of how you feel. The way you feel affects you the way you act. You have to be careful of the way you act, because your action makes your character, and your character makes your destiny. So you have to keep guard. If you can only control how you think, everything else becomes easy. According to kinesthetic psychology, a human being is always created to love what is good and to hate what is bad. Are you getting my point? And that's why when you lie, you will never be able to stand straight. You'll have to bend one organ of the eye. Try it. When you tell a lie, whether you like it, either the eyes will go down, or the head will go sideways, or the leg will break. You can't lie when you're standing straight. You can't. When you do something which is wrong, whether you like it or not, you will feel bad inside your heart that I've done something which is wrong. Including the cat. When you feed the cat voluntarily with meat, the cat will eat in front of you. The day the cat will run into the kitchen without your knowledge to take the meat, the cat will eat the meat outside the house. Why? Because our thinking pattern is always tailored towards thinking and doing what is good. So if you want to have a peaceful atmosphere and create a peaceful environment, it has to begin from the way you think. Very, very crucial. Again, conflicts begin within the individual. There is an African proverb which says, if there is no enemy within, the enemy without can never defeat you. In most cases, we are responsible for our own destruction. No wonder God says, I will never change your situation until you change it yourself. You got to do it yourself. I'm not going to do it for you. Can you repeat this after me? If it is to happen, everybody now. If it is to happen, if it is to happen, then it is up to me. Whether good or bad, ultimately it's me to decide. But this afternoon, I'm only deciding to do only what is good. So unless you have that personal conviction, it becomes very difficult because you live with a dual personality. And when you have a dual personality, you will never become happy because you live with suspicion and worries and fear. The good thing, this afternoon again, I want to teach you the medicine of fear. They say, do what you fear, and the fear of the fear will disappear. Do what you fear, and the fear of the fear will disappear. Do what you fear. If there is anything you are afraid of doing, do it. And after doing it, you will never be afraid of doing it again and again. If you are afraid of investment, invest. You only do what your mind tells you sometimes to do. And when you do it, you get the courage to continue doing it. If you are afraid of studying, go and study. And the fear and the phobia of studying will disappear. If you are afraid of saving instead of spending, learn how to save. And the fear of saving will disappear. If you are afraid of talking in front of people, talk. Stand and talk. And the fear of talking will disappear. Very important. But if you live with this dual kind of personality, you're saying one thing and you are doing something very different, that's where problem begins. When people don't want to be straight and tell each other, what you're doing is bad, what you're doing is wrong. I'm not happy with you. I'm not angry with you, but I'm not happy with what you're doing. So very, very important. Again, in the Constitution of UNESCO, the preamble reads like this. Since war begins in the minds of men, and women of course, it is in the minds of men that the defense of peace must be constructed. It is in the mind of men that the peace should be constructed. So it's very important for us to be careful of the thoughts we allow to settle in our minds. Very, very crucial. Okay? Again, it says, when you have the dual personality, then you don't get to realize what exactly you want out of life. And the formula of success always is, you cannot hit a target that you cannot see. And you cannot see a target which you don't have. You can never score a goal if you don't see the goal. And you cannot see the goal if you don't have a goal. So there has to be that expectation from you of wanting to live a peaceful life, for you to go out and struggle and make sure peace really prevails. Peace does not find a border with people who are selfish, which unfortunately is the order of the day in our lives, even in the developed world. You hear every day Trump saying, America, America, America first. So, anybody else can go to hell, but we have to think of America. Theresa May insisted that Britain should break away from European Union. Are you getting my point? Yes. So the selfishness is not only at individual level. Globally now, the tendency of people becoming selfish is too much manifesting itself. And for anyone who is selfish, these are the characteristics of that individual. Self-control. No, this is unselfish. Let me begin with self. Okay? Is the lust, not the love. There's a difference between love and lust. Then the exploitation, using other people to satisfy your ego and your needs. And the moment the needs and the ego is satisfied, you don't care what happens to the other side of the other person's life. Prejudice, okay, carrying on with stereotypes, which is very common in our communities and our societies. By the way, every community in Kenya has a bad name for another community. Abajuni has a name for a Kikuyu has a name for Abajuni, a Somali has a name for Abajuni, a Giriama has a name for a Digo has a name for a Mukama. Everybody, unfortunately, we all have what you call derogative name for the other person, for the other religion, and for the other community. So when we are on our own, we use those names, and our children listen And believe me, that is what they may call an individual level of radicalization. We radicalize our own children. When we sit down as Muslims, the way we discuss Christians, different. And when Christians sit down to discuss Muslims, different. When we are together, we pretend we are good friends, right? We understand each other, we want to live together. But when we are on our own, either at community level, tribal level, religious level, the language is always, this is called prejudice. That is the biggest challenge that Kenya has to deal with, actually. And then we have the greed. It's never enough. It is never enough. The more you have, the more you want. Are you getting my point? And it's the biggest problem. Unfortunately, when you are busy struggling to get more, that's when you even lose more. Have you discovered that? When you struggle to make more, that is the time you even lose more. You spend more by making more. And at the end of the year, when you sit down and calculate how much you've made, and your bank account is reading zero, it's amazing. Where has all that money gone to? No, it's the law of nature. The more you earn, the more you spend, unfortunately. That's why a salary will never be a blessing in anyone's life. Because the more you earn, the more you spend. If you're earning at 10,000 shillings, the moment they make it 15, you change the house. You change the meals. You change the dress style. So you're back to zero every time. They promote you to 50,000, you change the car. They promote you to 100,000, you marry a second wife. And a third one. Are you getting my point? At the end of the day, the greedy is playing with you. And you are always angry. And therefore, you're not at peace with your own self. Again, the vengeance, feeling that, and you know, they say the meaning of radicalization is when someone influences you to think like your life is bad because of somebody else. Your life is not bad because of you. Your life is bad because of somebody else. The reason why you are poor is not because of you being lazy. It is somebody else who has come to take your wealth. Somebody is radicalizing. That's why radicalization has 4 angles. The vengeances, the grievances, things you're not happy about. But then you have to have an ideology, something that will work with your mind. Then the network, you feel you're not alone. And then the support, someone to give you the resources to do that balance and to cause harm on other people's lives. So we call that the vengeance, and then the arrogance. You don't want to listen to what other people are saying. Believe me, sometimes poor people are more arrogant than rich people. Have you discovered? And then they have an excuse, anajita maskini jeuri. Have you heard of that? You must be stupid, my friend. You are poor and arrogant. No. I don't think that's a good combination. I don't think so. Poor and then arrogant. That doesn't take you anywhere. You really have to find ways of connecting with other people. So at the end of the day, you become who you know. You don't become rich by having money yourself. You can become rich by using somebody who has money to lend you that money and invest, and ultimately you return his money and you make your profit. And that's why they say in life you become who you know. You become who you know. And research is also showing all of us, we are an average of the 10 people we communicate with every day. So if on your phone book, the 10 people you're communicating with every day are poor, I'm afraid you'll never be rich. Because everybody you call is poor. But if in your phone book, at least 5 of the 10 people you're calling every day are rich, you will be challenged also to become rich. But if in your circle you are the hero, do you think you will work harder? No. And that's why sometimes you talk to people and they tell you, alhamdulillah, mimi mwalimu wa primary angalau na kishigumi changu na kiwangu na wanangu na kijumba changu, alhamdulillah, Aisha makuu. My friend, you're earning 10,000 and you're comfortable. You're living in a house of makuti and you're comfortable. People are flying and you are walking and you're comfortable. You must be joking. You know what I mean? So sometimes good things don't come in the comfort zone. And that's why sometimes they say you have to think out of the box. And if the box is still causing you problem, even after thinking out of it, destroy the box. Burn it down. Are you getting my point? And this means, therefore, you have to create an environment that will challenge you, that will make you feel like, no, you have to work harder. You're not the hero in that community. You're not the hero in that family. And therefore, you have to keep on struggling. Otherwise, you become too comfortable. And you pack when you're still very young. I always tell people, one of the greatest assets when before 40, which you have, is the age. The age. If you are below, that's why they say, look, if you're not handsome until you are at the age of 20, forget, you will not be handsome again. If you're not beautiful until the age of 20, you will never be beautiful again. If you are not married until you are at the age of 30, forget it, it's there's no use to get married. And I'll tell you why. If you're not educated until you're 45, forget it. You can't start nursery school. When will you finish? And if you're not rich until you're at the age of 60, don't struggle anymore. Why? Because in human creation, you ripe. That means even if you're ugly, you look good between the age of 15 to 18 to 20. Look at anyone who is between the 15 to 20. Even if they're ugly, they're still attractive. Because that time is supposed to be attractive. After 20, women don't like you because you're handsome. They like you because you have something in your pocket. Are you getting my point? Now, a woman is not worried about how good you look, how gorgeous your face is. No, he's worried about security. How much do you have to offer? So you don't have to struggle to be handsome after 20. No, it's useless. If you're not married at the age of 30, because marriage is a companionship. The age of the companionship in psychology is between the age of 25 to 35. You worry about who loves you, who likes you. After that, you're worried about getting old. You're not worried about who doesn't love you. No, you're worried about, oh my God, I'm becoming 40 and I'm not building my house. You don't worry whether a woman loves you or not. You start worrying, oh my God, my account is always zero. I'm already 40. Oh my God, in 15 years I'm going to retire and I haven't done anything. Oh my God, you don't worry about love me, love you anymore. No. So even if you get married, you only marry for convenience. But you don't marry for romance at that age. No. It's gone. The age of romance is gone. You're only married because of the society, because you don't want to do things. But otherwise, when you marry at 25, yes, you have now the luxury of the age. You say, I'm still 25, I have 25 more years before I become 50. So you can now, ikuona kwa mbali moyo wangu waja juu. Kwa macho yangu mawili, I look at you. I feel that I love you. Those things, that time you can afford to say them, right? Mother, are you getting what I'm saying? So be careful, my friends.
Nimesaidia wale.
So you got peace. You got peace. Now, but you have to turn from selfish to unselfish. Liking other people. Admiring other people. Wanting to live with other people. You want to coexist with other people. You want to connect with other people. You feel for other people. You desire for people what you want for yourself. And these people normally have self-control. They like serving others. They're always fair. They're very generous. They are forgiving. And they have a lot of humility. These are people who are not selfish. People who are willing to live for others. They say, before the age of 40, do things for yourself. But after the age of 40, do things for other people. Because life is made up of 4 L's. The L of love, the L of learning, the L of living, and the L of leaving legacy.